Hey gang, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys dropping by the channel, checking it out. Always grateful for that. Guys, today we're going to be talking about the jerkbait that literally everybody is fishing, and I don't hear anybody talking about. This is something that I've noticed specifically over the past 6 or 7 months. I've seen a bunch of different people fish it in videos. They're not talking about it. And we're going to get in today, and I'm going to show you what it is and give you guys some tips and advice on how to catch some fish with it, and you can see for yourself why it's so effective there. Also, guys, just want to remind you, I'm not sure how many of you guys have heard that I started my third YouTube channel this past fall called Advanced Bass Fishing with Randy Blockett, and these are like 45-minute to an hour-long videos, like in a seminar format. I put out one a week. And if you guys are interested in subscribing to that channel, I'll put the link to the channel in the description here. And actually just uploaded a video today on wacky rigging. So if you guys are interested in that type of format, you can check that out. So much appreciated. Okay, guys, I'm going to show you what it is here and explain to you why it's so effective. Now, everybody out there in the bass fishing world is familiar with the Megabass Vision 110. This is the most popular jerkbait of all time. A lot of different variations in the 110. But Megabass came out with one a couple of years ago called the 110 Junior, which is, you can see it's a little bit smaller than the traditional 110, all the way around. This is the Megabass, the 110 Junior plus one with a little bit deeper lip on it here. Guys, this right here, the 110 Junior plus one, has pretty much replaced jerkbaits for most people. It's like over the past year specifically, I've talked to so many people, including myself that fish it a lot, that have basically transitioned away from the traditional 110 size to the smaller 110 plus one size. And also, guys, I'll link this in the description of the video. If you guys want to check some out at my tackle warehouse link and pick a couple up, you can get them through that link there. But anyway, there's a couple different reasons for this, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how to fish it and why it's more effective. One of the big reasons I think that the 110 plus one Junior catches more fish at times than the regular 110 size baits. And don't get me wrong, it's not like none of them work anymore. There's situations where different sizes and profiles work better. But when you're talking about consistency day in and day out, the 110 plus one Junior has, in my opinion, a sort of transition past a lot of the other models out there. And the reason is it's my theory and it's my experience in fishing over the last few years that bass are evolving to bite smaller lures more and more. It's like there are windows of time that you can catch bass on big lures. You got to have the right situations. But overall, as the noise levels increase in our lake, the fishing pressure increases, as the number of fish we have diminishes in the lake, they just automatically are more attracted to a smaller profile lure. That's just sort of the nature of the beast out there. And I think that's one of the big reasons the 110 plus one Junior is so effective. One of the things that I have noticed, like here in the Ozarks, it's like it used to be nobody fished anything except Vision 110 or 110 plus one or like a Rogue. And it's like now, if you pay attention to people, what they're fishing out there, everybody's picked up on the 110 plus one Junior here lately. Just catches more fish under those certain situations. So here's how you want to fish this thing. It's a little bit different than fishing the regular 110. Number one, you guys out there that fish baitcaster on your jerkbaits, which are still a lot of people that still do, I don't understand why, but you really have to get a spinning rod with the 110 plus one Junior. Guys, they try to throw it on a baitcaster, but you're simply not going to get the distance out of it. You're not going to get the distance, and you're not going to get the feel, the subtle finessey feel that you can on a spinning rod. So number one, when you throw this bait, make sure you throw it on a spinning rod and throw it on 6-pound test line. I throw it on 6-pound test Seaguar and VizX line with a spinning rod, and with 6-pound line, the 110 plus one Junior, you can get it down probably close to 8 or 9 foot on a long cast, which is pretty deep for a jerkbait of this small. And another thing that you have to do is don't work it quite as hard. It's like, don't use that jerk, jerk, pause, because it reacts to a little bit more subtle twitch and jerk. So instead of going like jerk, jerk, pause, go jerk, jerk, pause, like that, because it doesn't take as much force to generate the same action out of this bait. Now, the 110 plus one Junior with the bigger lip on it, they make a smaller lip too, but the 110 plus one with the Junior lip, when you jerk it, it doesn't have that same side to side dart with the lip. It tends to go down a little bit more when you jerk it. So from that standpoint, one of the retrieves I like to use on it is when I throw it out there, you know, instead of like, you know, jerk, pause like that, a lot of times I'll twitch it and then I'll pull it like that. And when you pull this thing, it sort of runs like a crankbait a little bit. During like maybe that foot or two pull, when I just like go like that with it, and then I'll start twitching it again. But it seems like the little pull on there, when it has that crankbait type of action going, it generates a lot of strikes. Another way that you can catch them on this thing with this lip that's really unique is when you throw it out there and you make a long cast, if you keep your rod tip high and reel it down, you know, get it down to the depth zone, keep your rod tip high and snap your rod tip hard, like go boom, boom, boom like that, straight up in the air. And what happens is when you pop that rod hard up in the air, the bait will back up like that. It'll like boom, boom, and obviously generates a lot of strikes like that. So anyway, guys, give them a try. Megabass Division 110+1. Put the link in the description. They got a bunch of cool colors in there. They're all good. It just depends on your water clarity, sunlight conditions, that type of stuff. But you know, if you're having a tough time catching them, and especially if you've got a situation where you got brighter skies out, maybe not quite as much wind, a little bit heavier fishing pressure, just in general, the fish are a little bit more difficult to catch. You know, downsizing to that smaller size, it can be a big deal at times. So hope it helps out. We'll talk later.